This is Channel 9 Eyewitness News at 6. Coverage you can count on.
Right now at 6, bars and clubs across the state are shut down. Beaches are being regulated, and people are being urged to stay home.
These are unusual times. We need to do what's in the public safety in our judgment.
And then this, breaking news in the last hour. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis announced state school testing for the rest of the year is canceled, and parents will be able to keep their children in their current grade next year if they choose. Good evening, I'm Greg Wormuth.
And I'm Martha Sagowski. The governor says there are 24 new cases, bringing the state's total to 216. Bottom line, cases of coronavirus continue to climb tonight, and the message is clear. Practice social distancing.
And as you can see here at Channel 9, we are putting that to action. You may notice we aren't sitting next to each other during the newscast, and that is on purpose. We are making sure to keep that minimum 6 feet in between us. Martha?
And Greg, let's get you caught up on all the key developments that happened today. Some of the biggest businesses feeling the impact of the pandemic are bars and nightclubs statewide. The governor ordered them shut down at 5 tonight. Meanwhile, 4 students at the University of Florida have now tested positive for the virus. The state has since canceled Florida college graduations, and the White House wants to send a check to most Americans to help with the financial impact of having to isolate.
Of course, it is also St. Patrick's Day, a day that would typically mean a packed bar district in downtown Orlando and really across Central Florida. But Channel 9's Lauren Seabrook is live there for us right now. And Lauren, it is eerily quiet.
And Greg, I can tell you from personal experience, it is typically shoulder to shoulder packed with people out here. But instead, all of these Irish flags, they're really just decorating an empty Wall Street. And check out these drink specials right here. $5 beer, $5 whiskey, all these specials, they are all for nothing. Of course, we also know that restaurants are really able to stay open to some degree right now. But all of the restaurant owners are telling me they're really struggling with this decision. COVID-19 is closing down the places we love to drink.
Bars and nightclubs, effective 5 p.m. today, they're going to be suspended for 30 days.
And it's putting the places we love to eat in a predicament.
Seating needs to be staggered and limited to ensure that seated parties are separated by a distance of at least 6 feet. Of course, this virus is transmitted when you were within 6 feet of somebody.
Yesterday, the CDC released guidelines telling all Americans not to gather in groups larger than 10. So today, we asked Mayor Buddy Dyer.
Are you encouraging restaurants to have fewer than 10 people in their restaurant?
Absolutely. We are encouraging restaurants, if they can, to simply go to takeout service.
But later, the city said restaurants should follow the governor's order to only allow 50% capacity and make groups sit 6 feet apart. Restaurant owners like Doug Taylor are in a tough spot. They have employees who need to make money, but they also want to keep the community healthy. So they are weighing their options.
Many restaurants have a model that is to-go based or primarily to-go based. Our particular restaurant is not that model.
Your local places like Pom Poms and 7 Bites and all of those are still just trying to digest all of this information and figure out what's going to be the best format for them at this point in time.
In the meantime, employees who need a paycheck to put food on their own family's table hope the community will support them if and when they can.
We are Orlando Strong, and we were given that title almost 4 years ago, and it's up to us to remain vigilant and united.
And we have been hearing from some of you that you've heard some bar owners say they're planning to stay open. People are concerned about this. We do know at this point that Orlando Police does not plan to enforce it, but they tell us the state of Florida does. Reporting live in downtown Orlando, Lauren Seabrook, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Such big news for so many. Now, the governor's announcement about bars and clubs being closed tonight led to lines out of the doors of a local liquor store. Many of the stores look like this. This was seen around 2 this afternoon at the Total Wine. This is near the corner of Colonial and Bumby. The parking lots were full and more than a dozen people were in line. Shoppers told us it was very busy inside, too.
It looked like a combination of the last-minute Christmas shopping and a hurricane sale.
Obviously, people still want to drink, but they can't out tonight.
Even though we saw these long lines early this afternoon, the governor did not put restrictions on when liquor stores can operate. I guess this was just in case.
Well, the Trump administration is now considering sending checks directly to Americans to get money into their hands quickly. Channel 9's Michael Laparty listened to his comments today. He joins us live right now. Michael, this would help folks who are out of work and having trouble with their bills.
And Martha, as you know, so many businesses have been impacted with such little notice. The president said whatever happens will happen quickly. At this hour, the details are still being worked out. The president said there are a couple of different ways this could happen, but didn't go into detail. And we also didn't get any numbers as to exactly how much we're talking about. The Treasury Secretary said he understands that people need money now. The goal would be to get this money out within the next 2 weeks or so. The president said any relief package would also likely include something for the airlines and other industries that have been hit hard.
With this invisible enemy, we don't want airlines going out of business. We don't want people losing their jobs or not having money to live when they were doing very well just 4 weeks ago. So we're going big, and that's the way it'll be.
The Treasury Secretary said the government doesn't need to be sending out checks to people who make millions of dollars, but once again, we're still waiting on details about who could get what. Reporting live, Michael Lopardi, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
And we know you have plenty of questions about the coronavirus pandemic, so we are teaming up with a panel of experts from Advent Health to help separate fact from fiction. You can join us live tomorrow at 8 on TV 27 and on Facebook Live for Coronavirus Pandemic. Your questions answered. Greg?
And the calls for social distancing and the pleas for the public to stay home. We have a primary election in Florida today. In the last 2 hours, we've seen people coming out to the polls in Orange County after work. Channel 9 Shannon Butler's been monitoring this throughout the day. She joins us again live tonight. Shannon, you can really tell things are different this year, and this is a big year for the presidential race.
Yeah, it's a little strange out here. You can tell that something is just a little bit off. It was really slow earlier today, but just in the last couple of hours as people get off work, we've seen it pick up here just a little bit. But even so, they are expecting a very low turnout today. What's even more strange is watching voters as they go in with protective masks and gloves on just in case. It's just not something we've seen before. Now, all the polls have been cleaned and the workers are taking all of those precautions. Now, primaries usually have a lower turnout than November, but this is just slower than ever. The good news is that so far everything has gone without any problems.
This should be standard protocol, not just because of the virus. It should be clean and healthy all the time, quite frankly.
Now, what we have seen is when people do go in, it only takes a couple of minutes for them to fill out the bubble and come right back out. If you're worried about coming in here, it is a quick process. You still have a little time, just under an hour. For an hour live in Orlando, Shannon Butler, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
And we've got you covered for tonight's presidential primary election. As the results roll in, we'll bring you live results and expert analysis as Central Florida decides. Join us live at 7 p.m. right here on Channel 9.
There are 9 confirmed coronavirus cases in Volusia County. 2 more were just announced this afternoon. The county council is taking extra precautions and is placing restrictions on places like the jail and on the beaches. Channel 9 Volusia County reporter Mike Springer is live at the beach for us right now. And Mike, what changes are coming there?
Well, today we saw the county council announce that it's going to restrict the crowds here to gatherings of 10 or less. It's also asking people to keep that 6 feet of spacing between them and each other. But while some people at that meeting today argued that the beaches here should be closed in an effort to mitigate the spread of that virus, others said doing so would be devastating here for the local economy. Volusia County beaches are open. Sky Witness 9 flew over the shores as spring breakers and tourists headed to the coast to enjoy the water. The county passed a motion today to keep them open, but to have people limit their groups to 10 or less and to practice social distancing.
Keep the beach open, watch capacity, use social distancing, self-governing. Self-governing is the highest form of government. Self-governing, and just close the beaches when we're at capacity.
There are now 9 confirmed cases of the coronavirus in Volusia County, but the Department of Health says so far there's no evidence of any community spread. That means the Department of Health says it has been able to trace back how every confirmed case so far has been contracted.
There's a lot of clinical uncertainty still, but right now everything suggests for 14 days I could be infected with it. That's the 14 days of isolation that's being expected from any known case or close contacts with the self-monitoring.
The county says it is also taking extra precautions to make sure the virus does not spread further. That means doing a deep cleaning of its airports and offices, having high-risk staff members work remotely, and limiting visitors to the jail and making sure they have the equipment needed to handle any kind of spread. The county manager also has the option of closing the ramps to the beach as well as the parking lots in an effort to keep crowds here at the beach low. For now, reporting in Volusia County, Mike Springer, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
All right, Mike, and Disney says it's shutting down all of its hotels and resorts in the Orlando area and in Vero Beach this coming Friday at 5 p.m. At first, Disney had said the hotels would stay open. The company will also be closing all of its Disney stores nationwide starting tomorrow, including the one at Disney Springs. Some restaurants and stores there will stay open.
Well, the virus is forcing courts across the country to delay trials and other proceedings. Courthouses are restricting public access, and many civil and criminal trials are being put on hold with no clear end in sight. The National Center for State Courts says many court systems already had contingency plans set up in the event of emergency situations. Court systems say the most essential operations, like giving protection orders for domestic violence victims, are still being addressed.
Temporary restraining orders, needs to have children removed from abusive situations. In some instances, bail and arraignment hearings, because there's constitutional rights.
Some legal experts are expecting this outbreak to lead to a backlog of cases across the country.
And across the nation, some gyms are closing while others move to smaller classes as part of the effort to stop the spread. Gina Bernardini's Yoga Mix Orlando recently started offering live sessions online, and they're now finding their clients want classes at home through their laptop or tablet.
We just feel like now more than ever it's super important to do yoga. It does provide not only, the workout, but it provides a sense of peace and calmness.
And the world needs that.
And the world needs it right now, yes.
All right, absolutely. The sessions can be just as personalized with one-on-one classes or less expensive group sessions. Instructors told Channel 9 the absolutely best way to reduce the stress and anxiety is to do some exercise.
That is so true. Well, coming up, they've been used